In part 1, we went over Goku pretty much completing the last 2 arcs of Dragon Ball with complete ease. As we move on into Dragon Ball Z, we run into Raditz coming onto Earth looking for his brother Kakarot. But what will his reaction be now that his brother is an android? Find out in this part 2 of what if Goku turned into an android. Raditz has arrived at Kame House, and he tries to act intimidating towards Goku, thinking that he overpowers him. But when he tries to check Goku's power level on his scouter, for some reason, it says 0. Like Goku doesn't have any power within him. But that's impossible. If it's 0, that means he should be dead. But he's clearly not. He's standing right in front of him before his very eyes. He thinks that the scouter is broken. But then he scans Krillin's power level, and it shows 206. Then he scans Gohan. It shows 100. The scouter is not broken. But for some reason on Kakarot, it shows 0. But then Raditz comes to the conclusion that Kakarot must be so weak that his power level is coming up as 0. Raditz then looks at Gohan. When he first looked at him, he thought he was a human, but then he looked at his tail and sees that he's Kakarot's son, so he must be a hybrid. Raditz then tells Goku of his origins, and that he wants him to join him and the other 2 Saiyans. And obviously, Goku declines. Raditz gets agitated by Goku's answer and starts to get aggressive. He then tries to go after Gohan, but Goku easily fends him off. Raditz notices that Kakarot's way faster than he is, but the thing is, the scouter didn't alert him when he did that. It still stayed at 0. If we were to give Goku a power level since his power level can't be detected, it will be around 5,000. And I actually have a good reason for this. You see, in the original story, Dr. Gero made androids 17 and 18 way stronger than 2 Super Saiyans that has been through 3 years of training after getting the warning of the androids. So after Goku woke up, he was already way stronger than what he was. And think about Dragon Ball Super. Android 17 from the Cell Saga, who didn't even stand a chance against First Form Cell, suddenly in Super, he was able to go up against Super Saiyan Blue Goku by just being a park ranger, which has acted as a form of self-training. And Goku, who trained 3 years on Kami's lookout, with the addition of staying a little bit in the Room of Spirit at the time, a little bit longer than his canon counterpart, then plus the 5 years of training himself and occasionally sparring with Gohan, I feel like this is a reasonable power level to give him. So Goku ends up fighting Raditz, but he doesn't want to fight him here. So they go further out in the ocean to fight. Goku and Raditz's battle then continue with Goku easily overpowering Raditz. And that's where Raditz realized that he's getting outmatched by Goku. Raditz tries to pull off some tricks, but it doesn't work. And even though Raditz is getting overpowered, he can still try to turn into a great ape. But he thinks there's a couple of problems with that. One, he doesn't know how strong Kakarot is. He's worried that Kakarot might even overpower him in Great Ape. And making an artificial moon drains him more in power. And secondly, his son has a tail, so that means he'll also transform into a great ape. It wouldn't be much of a problem if he was fighting Gohan alone. With him and Kakarot there, he'll have to worry about 2 things. But then in the next moment, Raditz is suddenly paralyzed and can't move. Goku grabbed his tail. Goku had plenty of experiences with his tail, so he knew that this was a weak point. Raditz then tries to plead with Kakarot, telling him that he'll leave Earth and never come back. So Goku then releases Raditz's tail and lets him go. But as soon as Goku's back is turned, Raditz starts to smirk, saying that Kakarot's too soft to be a Saiyan. Then he tries to sneak attack Goku. Goku dodges, but then out of nowhere, another attack comes in and hits Raditz, leaving a fatal blow. It came from Piccolo. He was watching the entire encounterment. In fact, he could have beat this guy when they first encountered, but he wanted to see who this Kakarot person he was talking about. Coming to realize that Goku is actually an alien, and that he is his brother. He kinda hoped that his special beam cannon had hit the both of them, but he knew that it wouldn't have worked on Goku. But if it had worked, he knew that his friends would have brought him back with the Dragon Balls. Raditz overhears this. The Dragon Balls? What are those? And Piccolo explains the Dragon Balls to him, saying that if you collect all 7, you could get any wish granted. Raditz then weakly chuckles, saying thank you for the information. As Nappa and Vegeta were listening, Raditz warns them that his 2 Saiyan comrades are on their way now for the Dragon Balls, and that they're dead, and that they're several times stronger than he is. And in his final breath, he says that they have 1 year until they arrive. Raditz then dies to blood loss as his body falls into the ocean, and they're both shocked that more Saiyans are now on their way. Goku's not concerned about it, cause he beat this guy easily, so he knows that he can defeat the other 2 Saiyans. And he has a ton of good friends that can help him with that. And Piccolo thinks that it'd still be better if they prepare, and Goku agrees. Even though Goku thinks he can handle it, he wants to make sure that his friends can as well. Still, Goku isn't worried about the Saiyans, but he still does want to train to get stronger just in case, and he thinks that Piccolo would be the best option to help him with that. Meanwhile in space on a random planet, Nappa and Vegeta are ready to set a course for Earth so they actually can get the Dragon Balls. But Vegeta is still curious about one thing. When Raditz tried to find Kakarot's power level on his scouter, it said 0, and it constantly was 0. But it read all the other Earthlings' power levels, even his son. But for some reason when it's Kakarot, it stayed at 0. and was able to fend off Raditz with ease with no problem at all. That's something that Vegeta wants to find out. Meanwhile, back on Earth, everyone is training on Kami's lookout, and one thing confuses Kami. Piccolo is up there with him, willingly working with them. What drove him to want to do this in the first place? And Piccolo tells Kami to not get him wrong. He's not defending this planet. He's just trying to get stronger to defeat the Saiyans, because they are going to be in his way for world domination. If the Saiyans are as strong, if not stronger than Goku, this is the best way for him to catch up and match their strength. But Goku's the exact opposite. He's actually getting excited about the thought of this battle. But there is one thing that Goku's been meaning to try. The Room of Spirit and Time. He was able to stay there for a little while as a kid, but he wonders about now that he's more stronger. He was planning on taking Gohan in there, but he doesn't think that he's ready for that intensity. So he decides to take Piccolo instead. And when they go in, they do some intense training, but they only stay in there for 6 months. But they come out several times stronger than when they went in. But while in there, Piccolo started forming a bond with Goku, becoming less and less evil, and actually considering him an ally. And to note, Gohan does train with him on the lookout. Before Raditz showed up when Goku was sparring with Gohan, he didn't see Gohan's explosive power. Goku decided to take him up there in order to teach him how to control that power. And Piccolo even volunteers to help Goku with this. And the others who's on the lookout is Krillin, Tenshinhan, Yamcha, and Chaozu. And they all take the training very seriously. Well, maybe except Yamcha. He heard that Goku had beat this guy very easily, so he doesn't have much to worry. Then some time has passed. Everyone kept up their training and they're still on the lookout. But then they sense the Saiyan's power arriving on Earth. And after they land, the group goes towards them. But Goku makes a quick pit stop to Korin's tower to try to pick up some senzu beans. He doesn't think that they'll need them, but it's just in case. As he then takes off and quickly catches up to the others, arriving to where the Saiyans are. And let's go over their power levels. Goku's the strongest at 0. And yes, I'm gonna keep making that joke. But if he did have a power level, it would be 30,000. Way above than what he was at a canon. Training in the Room of Spirit in the time of Piccolo, even though it was 6 months, proved to be beneficial for Goku. And speaking of Piccolo, his power level is at 28,000. With him and Goku spending time in the Room of Spirit at a time, and then spending the rest of the time training on the outside, with the inclusion of training Gohan, this seems like the right power level for him. With Goku and Piccolo improving Gohan's fighting capabilities, and getting a control on his power level is at 5,000. But when he gets enraged, his power shoots far beyond that. While Krillin and Tenshinhan are tied at 3,000, and Yamcha's behind them at 2,000, with Chaozu as the anchor at 1,000. The Saiyans decided not to waste any time. They decided to start this off by planting some Saibamen, and they all easily defeat the Saibamen. Yamcha seemingly defeated his, but then one tries to jump on him, but then Goku saves him from it. Then Goku kills the Saibamen, which means Goku inadvertently saved Yamcha's life. And Nappa's glad that they aren't as weak as he thought, so he decides to go up first, and he wants to fight Kakarot, which makes Goku assume a battle stance, getting ready. Nappa tries to unleash a flurry of attacks on Goku, but Goku dodges them easily. Then Goku starts to attack Nappa, and his scouter can't help him either. He can't trace Goku's energy. When he tried to figure out his power level, it kept showing up as 0, which makes Vegeta keep a close eye on Goku. As the more he watches him fight Nappa, the more he notices that Goku's not getting tired, and how he can't have no power readings read on him, but he's overpowering Nappa. Nappa starts to get enraged, and he fires a blast from his mouth. Goku decides to tank the hit, and there's a huge explosion. And as the dust settles, Nappa sees that Kakarot isn't there no more. He must have annihilated him with that blast. He knew that he was weak. But then Vegeta tries to warn Nappa behind him, but it's too late. Goku lands a powerful kick on Nappa's back, which launches Nappa forward. And then Goku teleports in front of him, punching him, and he lands in front of Vegeta, and he can't move. It seems like Kakarot paralyzed him. He asks Vegeta for help, and Vegeta reaches out his hand, but then he tosses Nappa in the air. He says that he has no use for a Saiyan who lost to a lower class warrior, let alone who can't move. And Vegeta launches a blast at him, killing Nappa. And Vegeta admits, Kakarot's way more impressive than what he thought, which makes Vegeta kinda nervous. He might be stronger than he is now, so he might have to resort to transforming to a great ape. But Vegeta actually asks Goku a question. What is he? He's been keeping an eye on him, and he noticed that he can't get a read on his power level. And it doesn't seem like in the midst of battle, he never loses any stamina. How come that's possible? And Goku flats out tell him that he's been turned into an android, which means he has infinite stamina and infinite energy. And this shocks Vegeta. It all makes sense now. The no stamina loss and the scouter saying 0? That's why. It's because he's an android. But android or not, his power still doesn't compare to him. He's the prince. He's a super elite. He can beat this low-class scum. Vegeta starts powering up, and they're amazed by his ki. Goku tells Gohan and the others to go, and that he and Piccolo has got this. He doesn't want them to be in the way. After they all fly away, Piccolo says that he'll take care of Vegeta, since Goku had fun with the bigger guy. And Vegeta laughs at this. He originally came here to kill Kakarot, but he can kill this Namekian first. This comes to the shock to Piccolo as he now found out that he's a Namekian. But it doesn't bother him too much as he now fights Vegeta, which Piccolo is beating Vegeta easily. And Vegeta can't believe he's getting beat by this Namekian. He shouldn't be this powerful. The scouter said he was only a couple of thousand when he first arrived. Vegeta realizes that he really doesn't have an option now. So, in his hand, he charges up an artificial moon and throws it up in the air. He looks at it and transforms into a great ape. From the damage he took and creating an artificial moon, his power is drained some, but he still should be able to overpower them. Piccolo tries to go after Vegeta now in his great ape form. But Vegeta easily overpowers Piccolo. He's way faster and way stronger than what he was previously. Goku jumps in trying to help Piccolo, but even with their combined strength, there's still no match for Vegeta. They both take some serious damage. Then Vegeta slams Piccolo to the ground, and he's getting ready to stomp on him. But then Goku sticks a hand out, and as soon as Vegeta stomps on him, he sees a green glow below his foot. There's a force field. It came from Goku. He learned this during his training. He could put a force field around himself or others. At this point, he can only do it one at a time. But then Vegeta unleashes a huge shockwave, knocking Goku back, which disables the force field on Piccolo. Vegeta then grabs Piccolo, squeezing the life out of him. But then Vegeta hears something coming towards him. He turns around and sees a key-shaped disc. He narrowly dodges it, but it does hit his leg, cutting it open. Vegeta sees that it's one of the Earthlings. It's Krillin, and the other Earthlings are with him. Krillin tells him to go after his tail, then he won't be a great ape no more. They each try to go for Vegeta's tail, but Vegeta is too much for them. Meanwhile, Goku's on the ground. He tries to get up, but it's kinda difficult due to his injuries. But then he remembered. He has some senzu beans. He eats one and he recovers, even getting a little Zenkai boost. But then he feels something. He feels the energy of his friends fighting Vegeta. But then something comes to shock to Goku. He feels the energy of his friends disappearing one by one. First Yamcha, then Tien, then Chaozu, while he still has Piccolo in the grasp of his hands. Goku tries to rush back to the battle. As soon as he gets there, he sees Vegeta kill Krillin. Meanwhile, Piccolo is still trying to break free. So he launches a blast from his mouth, hitting Vegeta in the eye, dealing some serious damage. With Vegeta throwing Piccolo, then launching a blast from his mouth, eradicating Piccolo. Gohan is enraged, and his power skyrockets. He tries to go after Vegeta, but Vegeta launches another blast straight at Gohan. It looks like it hit Gohan, but as soon as the dust settles, he sees that there's an energy field around him. Vegeta sees this, which means that Kakarot is around. But then something catches Vegeta's eye. He sees a bright light. It looks like Kakarot? Vegeta goes in trying to attack Goku, but once he punches him, he sees that Kakarot caught the punch with one hand. But once he gets a good look at Kakarot, he sees that there's golden energy surrounding him. And then in an instant, Goku kicks Vegeta away. With the death of Piccolo, that means Kami is gone, which means the Dragon Balls don't exist anymore. Even if they did still exist, he still can't bring back Chaozu or Krillin, since they already been brought back once. This was enough to send Goku over the edge, as he won't ever forgive Vegeta for this. As Goku let out a ferocious scream, as he then transforms into a Super Saiyan. And Vegeta can't believe it. He transformed? But it can't be. Kakarot's a low-class Saiyan. He can't be the Super Saiyan. But he's never seen any other Saiyan transform into this. It's the only explanation. Goku then lifts a hand up and launches a ki blast at the artificial moon, destroying it, and Vegeta transforms back to normal. Even though Goku's transformed, he's actually calm and collected, and he didn't let his rage overtake him. He wants Vegeta to leave Earth and never come back. That is his first and only warning, and he won't hesitate to kill him if he has to. And Vegeta's too dumbfounded. Kakarot transformed into a Super Saiyan, and just the sheer amount of pressure that he's radiating with this power is enough to make him not even move. And Vegeta knows that he can't win here. If he even tries to attack or tries to pull anything against Kakarot, he's dead. So he decides to listen, and he calls for his ship, getting ready to leave Earth. But Vegeta says he will return one day, and he will attain the power of the Super Saiyan and defeat Kakarot. Vegeta then leaves, and Goku powers down, going back into his base. And he's pretty astonished by the power he just unlocked. But that power came from sacrifice. Piccolo, Krillin, Ten Shinhan, Chaozu, and Yamcha. They're all dead. And with Piccolo dead, the Dragon Balls are gone, so they can't be wished back. But then Goku remembers. Vegeta called Piccolo a Namekian. That means that there's more out there. Maybe if they go to Piccolo's homeworld, they could find another set of Dragon Balls and wish everyone back. But the thing is, he doesn't know where Piccolo's world is. But then someone reaches to Goku telepathically. He says his name is King Kai, and he says that he'll help Goku reach planet Namek, which is where we'll leave this part off. What did you guys think of this video? And what will happen next? If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. It supports me and it supports the channel. I'm DBZ Anarchy, and I'll see you guys in the next video.